Hi, I'm Omar. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to create a series of short YouTube videos which are 10 minutes or less, shot in real time while I paint a piece of fruit, flower, whatever in watercolour, just to show you that a really good result can be achieved in quite a short amount of time and really with not too much effort. When you watch this, I want you to see that when things go slightly awry, I don't lose my cool. I don't think, oh, I'm going to start again. I just carry on. Some of this is just knowing that I have faith in myself and I'm not fearful of the end result. I really want you to bear in mind that when you paint, it's going to look slightly different, and I'm not telling you what colours I use because all you have to do is paint in a similar way. What I'm showing you is relatively simple techniques and tips that will give really good results without too much fear involved. I really hope that these series of videos are going to be beneficial for you. To create this watermelon, I'm going to be using a wet on wet technique. First of all, we need to mix up sort of a peachy red colour, just a very, very light wash. And then we're going to define the shape of each slice of watermelon, and I tend to work very fast. I tend to paint several pieces at once. So this is my first one. And basically a watermelon is a triangle with a slightly rounded edge. So there's my first one, and then I'm going to drop in much more concentrated reds. I'm painting this in real time and I'm trying to talk at the same time as well. What I want to prove is you can create a piece of watercolour without too much effort and too much time. And there is no need for excuses like, oh, I haven't got time, because what I'm trying to show you is it can be easily achievable. I'm going to create my next piece now while I'm waiting for this one to slightly dry out. You can see that I'm adding water just to thin out that wash. We're not going to add too many layers. I'm just going to drop it in like this, and that might be all it needs at this stage. I can see with this one here that it's pooling at the edges there, and that is the part where it's starting to go into the pith, where it's a lot lighter. So I'm just going to use a bit of tissue to gather up. There'd be too much red there. So again, with the second watermelon, I'm just going to drop in slightly different colour red, darker if possible, and that will do. I'm going to start on another one now. I'm going to leave a little bit of space here because that is where the rind is going to go. I added a bit too much red in this initial stroke, so I used a bit more water on the brush just to thin out that wash, as you can see. Put it right at the tip there, a really dark red, and we're going to watch it spread downwards. I wanted to add a more defined tip by using the darker red. I'm going to add a little bit more dark areas on the other three shapes that I've created. There, and drop in a bit there, and I think this one needs just a little bit more contrast, maybe there. And we've got room here, so I'm just going to pop in one more before I start drying it. Think like this. Please note I am not trying to create perfect triangles. It is just a general shape that I'm after. Now I hope you can see that this is absolutely achievable by most people's standards. This is not technical in the slightest. We're just creating washes, triangular washes basically. And we're dropping in more concentrated and darker reds. I'm hoping that you will be able to let go of the fear of even starting on a blank sheet of paper, because you can see that Within just a very short space of time, I've got 4 triangles with blobs of red in them which are spreading, and they're creating watermelons. I think this one has got too much red happening. I'm just going to soak up a little bit more of this at the edges, and then we're going to use the hairdryer. As you can see in a minute, I had the hairdryer on too high a setting and the paint splattered, but that's absolutely okay. You know, I'll learn for next time to make sure it's on a low setting. As you can see, there is a runoff there where I blasted it with the hairdryer at the wrong setting. I dried it for 1 minute using a lower setting so that the paint wouldn't explode across the page. Now we're going to add the rind. Now with this one I'm going to again have a very light green wash. I'm just mixing that up now, and we're going to leave a little gap between the edge of the watermelon and the light green rind is coming in now. We just follow the contour of the round part of that watermelon. That one will go there and that one goes there. Just going to move this one slightly so you can see the rind going in here. It's only a light wash. We're going to drop in much darker green in just a second. To get the best results, try to paint the rinds in one smooth stroke. So this is still wet, so we're still using the wet on wet technique, and I'm going to drop in much more concentrated bits of green just there. You can place this green almost anywhere and it'll look absolutely fine. Because you're dropping in the darker shades of green within that wet rind area, it's only going to spread in that area. I might just add a slightly darker green for contrast. When you get to this stage, do pause every few seconds to assess where you might want dark areas of green. Don't put it everywhere. That looks great. Now all we're missing is the seeds. I don't like to use black, even though watermelon seeds do look black. What I'll probably do is use either a brown or a Payne's grey. Just mix that up. And I'm not even looking to make entire solid seed shapes. There's quite a lot of watercolour on that. I've just dabbed a bit on a paper towel. Please don't overthink at this stage, so close to the end now. Don't worry about how many seeds each piece should have. Maybe just one more down here, but maybe an outline because it's quite a light area there. And I'll add some more here. Actually, I've missed that one out. Let me move it over. I just want to state again, the purpose of this exercise is not to create a realistic piece of watermelon. It is just to enjoy the process, don't overthink it, and just make those strokes. And I'm hoping those who watch this video will think, oh gosh, I can do that, because that is what I'd like you to go away thinking, gosh, I think I could achieve that, and not think I don't have time or I don't have the skills, because there is very, very little skill in this. I think a few of you watching this will have perfectionist tendencies and you want to achieve perfect results, but in order to get to that stage where you're achieving results that you consider good, you have to go through a stage where you're just discovering and build it up from practice to practice. After even just a few times trying this, you're going to see a vast improvement. But the only way to see that improvement is actually to take the time, only 10 minutes of practice. I guarantee that this is almost a fail-safe method of painting watercolours. This is what I do in my workshops, and everybody is so pleased with the results. Please do give it a go. If you are interested in practicing your watercolours, I do recommend taking a look at my Sketchbook Practice Skillshare class, where I share the journey that I made through my sketchbook practice. I include a few tips on motivation, some of the materials that I used, and how my sketchbooks became a safe place to explore, experiment and to record my progress. If you're doing this for yourself, you are never going to regret it because amazing ideas and your style will emerge. These sketchbooks, I've got 10 of these now. Sketchbooks are a safe place to explore your art and a fun way to loosen up a bit. You'll see from day to day, from sketchbook to sketchbook, that you are making progress, and that's going to boost your confidence. And it's going to make you feel much more willing to try new things, which in turn will boost your ability and again boost your confidence once again. Even if you're only able to do this for a few months, you'll see new ideas develop and your style will probably start to emerge, which is surely a good thing. At the end of this Skillshare class, there's going to be a really simple watercolor tutorial, which I hope you'll join me for, and I very much look forward to seeing you in class.